Hello everyone, it's Alana. Thanks for coming to hang out with me, and if you are new here, welcome, and welcome to another Spring into Success video. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, so yes, I am doing another Spring into Success video for you guys today, and this one is going to be all about focusing on your goals. Staying focused on your goals. As you can see, I got a little bit of a head start. I wanted to kind of set up the theme for the page I'm going to be working on because I want to go fast and hard with these tips for goal focus and how to set ourselves up to be more successful and hit up against less disappointment, at least as much as possible. I didn't want this one to be a super long one. I wanted this to be a video that people can come seeking tips for goals and productivity, and we just get to the point. So I'm going with a pink and black theme for my goal focused page today, and I'm going to be pulling from just a few sticker packs. These are the ones that I grabbed for some motivational quotes, some decorative stickers, and a few boxes as well. I'm going to try to stick to these, but if I pull from anywhere else, I will let you know. I know that so many of you like to see the actual sticker pack as I'm pulling from it and putting on my page, but I really wanted to focus on the topic today and the page that is in front of me. So I'm going to keep those out of focus, and those are the ones that I am using. So I've got my pink and my black theme down. I did my Dream Big sticker from the Jungle Vibes sticker pack up at the top there, and we're going to get right into it. We are going to talk about staying focused on goals. And the reason that I wanted to talk about staying focused on goals is because it is the number one thing that I get questions about, comments about, feedback, things like that. It's people want to know how to stay focused on goals because, of course, setting a goal and writing one down is easy. Staying focused on it, not so much. We get that New Year's resolution fire underneath us, or we take a class, a course, we read a book, we listen to a podcast, we watch a video like this one, whatever it is, something fires us up, we get going, and then it fizzles out. So how do we stay focused on our goal? And keep in mind, as I am talking about goals throughout this video, I am talking about your goal of your heart, your big mountain goal, not your to-do list goal, but the goal that's intertwined in your soul, that kind of goal. My number one tip for staying focused on your goal, and don't take this the wrong way, I will explain. My number one tip for staying focused on your goal is to mind your own business. That's not some sass. That's not attitude. That's not mind your own business. That is me saying mind your own business. Be mindful of your own business. Keep your mind on your own goals. All the brain space that you have that can be dedicated to goals, mind your own. Do not waste time and precious energy and brain space focused on what somebody else is doing. So by mind your own business, I mean be mindful of your own business, be mindful of your own goals, and only allow the brain space that is goal related to be dedicated to your own and not what anybody else is doing. Let me tell you why that's so important. So on the path to our goals, on the journey to our personal destination, if there's somebody running alongside us, if there's somebody sprinting past us, we have no idea where they started out. We have no idea what they started out with. We have no idea what's in their quote unquote backpack of preparedness. And we can't make those comparisons. It's not fair to ourselves, and it's not fair to the person that we are making the comparisons of. And secondly to that, if we are on our own path, our own journey to the destination of our goals, and we look over at the person that is running alongside or past us or is across the way from us, we're going to trip and fall flat on our face, smash our noses, not look cute anymore, and get hurt. So keep your eyes on your own paper and mind your own business. Another tip that I have for staying focused on your goal that kind of goes hand in hand with that is to give yourself as much digital detox time as you possibly can. I know a lot of us kind of operate on social media, we run businesses on social media, but when other people's content and creativity and numbers and skills start creeping into your brain space, that is when you need to check out of there. Hightail it off the internet. I know that we're all going to do it. We're humans, and especially as creatives, we are going to make those comparisons, but we just can't. We can't allow it. And it's a willpower thing. I mean, I don't have a specific formula. I don't have an exact recipe to tell you how to not do it because it is difficult. But for me personally, I just kind of woke up and snapped out of it one day. I think because I realized how ridiculous it was to make those comparisons. They are ridiculous because even if somebody is making very similar content or creativity or art or whatever that is very similar to yours, they're still not living your dream. They're not on your path, they're not on your journey. So check out from that comparison as often as possible. I'll share a personal experience with you that kind of helped me realize how ridiculous those comparisons were that were sort of removing me from focusing on my goal. I was so focused on other people's accomplishments that I stopped focusing on my goal. So, as some of you probably already know, I am a writer. And a few years back, I was making comparisons. Some of my writer friends were getting picked up by agencies that I thought I wanted to be a part of so dang bad. They were being published by, the big five publishing houses and landing their books on shelves in bookstores. And I beat myself up so bad over that. I made huge comparisons, but I also really, really punished myself for not being there. And then about 2 years ago, I actually realized that traditional publishing is not something that I actually want. I want to publish my own book and I want to be in control of my story and how it's told and how it goes out into the world and what kind of interaction I have with the readers of that story. So, do you see how crazy that is? I punished myself. I beat myself up so mercilessly over something that I actually didn't even want. And it was hugely because social media gave me quick access to what other people were accomplishing, and it made me act like a playground kid who thought I wanted something that somebody else had just because they had it. So be very careful, very, very careful about comparison, about watching what other people are doing, and about thinking that you want what somebody else has if it's not exactly the goal that you are going after. Also, keep in mind that, especially if you are a creative and your big goal is something that deals with creativity, there's always an audience. There's always someone who's going to care about what you're creating. There's always a consumer. There's always a buyer. There's always a reader. There's always someone who's going to appreciate what you're doing and they're going to love the heck out of it. Even if you think somebody else is making something very similar to what you're doing and you think nobody's going to want this. This is a judgment-free zone, so I'm not going to call anything out. But there are, for example, certain television shows or movies or books that if someone came to me and explained the premise, I would be like, who's going to watch that? That's who's going to watch that? That's bonkers. But that's my opinion. That's one opinion. And my opinion is not somebody else's or the next person or yours or theirs or his or hers. So there's always going to be an audience for something. There's always going to be somebody who wants exactly what you are creating and putting out into the world. Always, always. So eyes on your own paper, mind your own business so that you don't fall flat on your face. It's painful. And yeah, digital detox, check out from the comparison as much as you possibly can. And like I said, it takes willpower, but also when we realize kind of how silly and pointless it is to make the comparison, then it's easier. So remind yourself of that. Have you guys seen the posts? I'm sure you have. I've seen so many of them, and it kind of reiterates that whole thing again, where we should mind our own business. There are men and women who have been entrepreneurs or writers, creators, whatever it may be. They post on social media these little notes that say, it took me 5 years and 147 days to become an overnight success. So do you see it? We have no idea. We have no idea what someone is going through, where they've been, what they're doing, what tools they have, what training they have. None of that. We can never really know. So to compare yourself at just some point on the road when you have no idea where they came from, where they're going, how many times they've tripped and picked themselves back up again, how many times they, found a shortcut, none of that. We know none of that. So comparison is pointless. And it's really, really a huge waste of brain space and mind power and energy and effort to compare yourself. So if you're going to focus on goals, focus on your own. Also, to stay in that place of focusing on your goal, I highly recommend making a vision board and keeping your goal in front of your face every single day. Either make a vision board that is physical for your wall or the front of your planner, or make something that is on your desktop of your computer, your laptop, whatever it is. Even if it's your phone background, have a vision board for yourself to keep you in that mind space of being focused on what you're going after and your why. Then make checklists. Checklists constantly, all the time, for why you're going after your goal, what you need to do every step of the way. Those are going to build the momentum, and like I said, the motivation is in the momentum, so you're going to want to keep going and keep working on it. Just make yourself so, I don't want to say busy, but make yourself so wrapped up in your own goal that you can't spare time for what anybody else is doing. Stay so effective and so on top of what your main goal is that you're not looking at what anybody else is doing. Not that I have any experience with this, but do you know how, okay, maybe some of you are too young, but do you know how it used to be in detention, a teacher would make you write lines? You would write lines on the chalkboard of, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this. And then it kind of programs your brain to not do the thing that got you in trouble again. Well, if you spend so much time writing out and focusing on your own goals, it's going to program your brain to stay in that mind space, to stay focused on your goal and why you're doing this and why you're going after it and why it's so important to you. So brain to hand to paper, just stay focused on your goals. If you have to make productivity sheets like this, they're dang cute. So make them frequently. Stay in that place. Stay in that place. The next thing that I want to talk about, I have mentioned this before. I talked about it in the Summer of Success project that I did, and I talked about it for just one January. And the reason that I want to mention it again and go over it again is because I received so many messages and so many comments from people who said, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. Thank you for saving me so much time and heartache and possible disappointment. Okay, I had no idea that some people weren't thinking this way. I should have known because I thought this way and now I think the other way. But there are two types of goals. There's a goal that you can control and a goal that you can't control. And you need to quickly figure out if your huge, embedded in your soul mountain goal is one that you can control or one that you can't control. So let me grab some more boxes and I will explain. Here is an example of a goal that you can control. Running a marathon, right? It is up to you start to finish. If you're going to run a marathon, you decide to run the marathon, you buy the shoes, you drink the water, you do the training, you improve your time, you show up, you register, you're there on running day and you do the marathon start to finish. That's a goal that you can control because it's in your hands every step of the way. A goal that you can't control is one where you don't hold the outcome. So, for example, and I'm using this as an example because I get a lot of questions and messages about it. And that is getting on the Happy Planner Squad. I'm sure some of you are here. You are not interested in being on the squad. You have so many other goals. That's totally fine. I'm still going to use it as an example though. If your big mountain goal, the goal that is living in your heart, is to be on the Happy Planner Squad, you are setting yourself up for potential disappointment and heartbreak because you cannot control the outcome. You do not determine who gets chosen to be on the squad, right? There are select people who work for the Happy Planner who get to decide that. And you're not a failure if you don't get selected because it's not a goal that you could control. It's in somebody else's hands. I keep putting this down crooked. Does that make sense? So if you have a goal, and that's not to say that it's a bad goal, not at all. That's a great goal to have. Have the goal, totally. But you should have a plan B. You should have a backup plan and what you intend to do instead. And then also you should have a broader, grander focus. And again, I say that because you can't control the outcome because none of us get to decide who's on the squad except for the select couple of people who work for the Happy Planner deciding who gets to be on the squad. So you can control your behavior, you can control your platform, you can control the content that you put out there. You can put your best foot forward, but you can't control the outcome. So the best way to sort of set yourself up to be in a good mindset and a good place is to pre-plan what you're going to do, one, if it falls through, and two, how you're going to put your best foot forward. So it goes for any goal, really, not just being on the Happy Planner Squad, but if you have a goal that's out of your control, like if you want to be a brand ambassador for another company, if you want to get hired somewhere, anything like that, the best that you can do to set yourself up for potential success, because you can't guarantee that you will be hired or selected or whatever it may be, just prepare yourself the best that you can to put your best foot forward. If it's a goal that's out of your control, do your research. If you have to enlist some resources or some help or whatever that may be, figure those things out, plan ahead of time, and then be prepared to put your best foot forward. But it's out of your control. The outcome is out of your control. All you can control is yourself and your behavior. I don't like those. So I personally would recommend that you have an alternative focus and like a bigger, broader goal, like I said. So to be, again, for an example, to be on the Happy Planner Squad, all you can do is put your best foot forward, but your main focus and goal should probably be more about just how you're showing up in the planner community and what you are contributing to the space, your content, your creativity. Maybe your backup plan could be starting a YouTube channel or a Facebook group or something like that, that still touches the community, that still is involved in the planner community, inspiring, helping other people with their creativity, giving advice, tips, whatever it may be. Have another focus, have a backup plan if your main goal is out of your control. So sit down, ask yourself, is this goal a goal that I can't control, or is this a goal that I can control? Which one is it? And then what do I need to enlist or research or do to bring it at least more to my advantage, give myself a better footing, kind of platform, place to start out, to be able to know that you at least gave it your best, right? Because like I said, you're not a failure if you don't get selected, because it's not in your control. Okay, another way that I recommend staying focused on your goals is to, okay, a part of this is also really challenging, much like the digital detox, but get yourself an accountability partner, a trusted singular or small group accountability partner, and then don't share your goals with anybody else. And certainly don't put them on blast on social media. I mean, you can if you want to, but I highly, highly recommend not doing that. And I'll tell you why. It contributes, I'm going to move this once again. Oh my gosh. It contributes to the overwhelm and the stress and the anxiety, because now you have created an audience and you've kind of committed to something, and if it falls through, then you have to, say once again, I didn't get it done. Again, that doesn't make you a failure, but it makes you feel like one. I know, I've been there, I've done that. So I don't recommend announcing your goals. Keep them to yourself and to your accountability partner or small group of accountability partners. To not have the anxiety and the overwhelm, because you are taking yourself out of that mind space and you are not focused on the goals when you should be focused on the goals. You shouldn't be bringing other stress and things like that into what could be brain power spent on your goals and your productivity. Okay, so let's quickly recap, because I said I wanted to make this fast and it is getting long. So I'm going to put down just a couple more things and then we will recap and end it here. Okay, so basically, mind your own dang business. And yes, of course, by that I mean be mindful of your own business, eyes on your own paper. Do not make comparisons. I know that's easier said than done, but like I said, try to open your eyes to how ridiculous and pointless the comparison is. Keep in mind that there is always an audience and a heart for what you are creating and putting out into the world. Always, always, somebody is going to appreciate the heck out of that. So don't give up if you feel like somebody else is doing something similar to you. It's not the same. It's not what you have to offer. It's not your story that they're telling. Only you can tell that story. Nobody else can take your journey. You can feel like they're walking awfully close to you, but they can't take your journey. It's not meant for them. It's meant for you. And you may not get what you want at the time, but try to be open to the fact that it may not be what you want or need at the time, like I did with being so convinced that I wanted to be traditionally published. So be careful about what you're beating yourself up over. And then stay focused on your own goals by literally staying focused on your own goals. Keep yourself in that mind space. Make those checklists, check in with yourself constantly. Be very specific about your goals. Set a deadline for yourself, but don't share it with anybody else except for your accountability partner. It's healthy to have an accountability partner, but do not put your goals on blast. I mean, you can if you want to, but I really don't recommend it. Check out of the comparison as much as possible. Digital detox as much as you possibly can, to preserve your brain space, to take care of yourself and your goals and your creativity. Protect your creativity. And then lastly, ask yourself, if this is a goal you can control or can't control, what is your plan B if it falls through? If it's something that is out of your control, just try to set yourself up to be putting your best foot forward, and then accept the fact that it is out of your control, and what are you going to do instead that still kind of keeps you in the space of that goal, but isn't necessarily that specific thing. All right, you guys, as always, if you have any questions or if you want to talk more about this, leave it down in the comment section below and I will be more than happy to catch up with you guys there. I hope all of this made sense. It was still not as fast as I wanted it to be, but gosh, I really want to give you guys something useful. So that is it for this page, and I will catch up with you guys in the comments. Thanks again so much for hanging out with me for Spring into Success. I'm so proud of every single person who is participating, and I will see you in the next one. Tell your dog I said hi. Bye, guys.